Hi and welcome to Stock 101. For this episode, let's start your charting journey with horizontal lines and trend lines. No? For every trader or investor, knowing how to identify support levels, resistance levels using horizontal lines or trend lines is enough to provide you with valuable and tradable information to know when to get in and out of a certain stock. No, most of a stock's price action will follow a certain behavior or a certain pattern, and using horizontal lines and trend lines can help you identify those patterns. No, now first you need to find a platform for you to start charting on. What I use here is TradingView, so you can just go to www.tradingview.com and start charting there. You can make your watch list here. You can put your favorite stocks in your watch. Here's the basic charting interface. No, you'll have your watch list here and you'll have your tools here. So the only tools that we will need here would be the horizontal line tools and the trend line tools. That's all you need, right? Now, support and resistance is a trading concept that refers to price barriers. Either that barrier will have more sellers or that barrier will have more buyers, right? So in support, when a price goes to a support level, like for example here in Ali, the support level is 3160, there are more buyers than sellers, right? So that means that when the price of Ayala land goes to 3160, traders are willing to buy at that level, right? So usually when it hits 3160, you will see buyers come in and lift the price back up. So it's a support level, right? As opposed to a resistance level, right? So a resistance level here, we can look at Ayala's chart again. Here, there seems to be something here that prevents Ayala land's price to consistently go above 3840, right? So okay, yes, it went up here up to 42, but then it came back down below 3840, and after that it was never able to go up 3840 until March of this year at 3980, but again it went down, right? So there is a resistance level there. So the resistance level is the opposite of support, right? So when a price of your stock reaches resistance, that means that traders are now, there are more sellers in that price level than buyers. So usually the price now goes down, right? So you have your support here. So it's being supported here at 3160, and there's resistance here at 3840, right? So as traders, you may want to identify support and resistance. So of course, when it hits support, wait for support to hold. Then when it holds and bounces back, and then you can buy. And your price target, I get a lot of traders asking me, what's the price target for it? The price target is usually the resistance, which is 38. So if you're buying this at 32, you can confidently wait for it to go to 38 and then sell, because when it reaches 38, you know it's going to, historically, it has always gone down after it hits 38. Yes, it will go up to 41, 40, but most of the time it will go down. So you can top slice, usually just top slice your position, so that if it does go up, you can still have some stocks left to sell at a higher price, right? So if it doesn't break through resistance or support, it is just going to trade in that range, right? So there's a different support level here already at this for 2022 and 2021. See, you can actually trade this range, no? So 34 around 34 and then 38, 34, 38. So you can buy when it reaches like 33.85, and then you can sell when it reaches 38, right? So drawing these horizontal lines already gives you a range from which you can trade certain stocks, or when to buy more of that stock, because you know it's just gonna bounce off of support. Now, most of the time, your stocks will either break support or break resistance, right? So in this case, if we've identified this as support, it broke support. Once it breaks support, you'll have to identify the next level of support, which is usually the next horizontal line. So if we draw another horizontal line here, there's something here, right? So always use the newest reference, because sometimes the older prices are forgotten already. So just use the newer, the latest numbers here. There's a support level here. So if it breaks support here, the next support will be at this level, right? So if it breaks support, don't buy, wait for it to hit the next support level, right? And if it bounces off that support level, that support level that was previously broken becomes resistance, right? So now this is support, this is resistance. It was resisted at this price and it went down. So here it broke support, that support became resistance again. So see, the price, there's resistance at that price level. So we can draw another horizontal line here, because we've seen Ayala Land's price action bounce twice at the 22.55 level, right? So it made a double bottom, right? So it was able to test 22.55 twice, and it succeeded in supporting that level, and it broke out again of 27, and now it's hitting resistance at 31. So what information is tradable? Now, usually when it breaks resistance, right? Usually when it breaks resistance, it has to test support, right? When it breaks resistance, that resistance becomes support, and it has to test that support. Now look here. Here is what happened. Here was, there was a battle between buyers and sellers. Buyers buying here, sellers selling here at a range. They were battling each other for the whole August until September, until eventually the sellers won and pushed the price back down to support. And here, buyers were willing to pick up Ayala Land at 22, and it broke resistance again. Now it became support, and it's testing resistance again. So more likely this will go down, test support here, and if that support holds, it can break resistance here and test this resistance. This becomes support, right? So just by being able to draw horizontal lines, seeing certain patterns here, you can more or less predict the price action of your favorite stocks, and then you can set price targets accordingly. So if you look at AP here, okay, let's squeeze it in, let's squeeze in the time frame. You can see here at this level, let's get a horizontal line here. You can see at this level 28.85, 29, 28. It's a clear support level, right? So let's draw a resistance line here. See, that's very clear. That's a resistance line, no? It has been testing resistance again and again and again for the most part of the year. So usually there's a middle band here, right? So it's usually playing along this line here, and because we've seen this chart here test resistance twice, we know that this is the next level. So what is the most likely price action for Aboitiz Power? So it broke resistance, it's testing support, right? Now, it can test support. If it bounces, the next level is 36.95, right? So, and if it goes down here, is it time to buy or is it time to sell? We wait first before wait first for it to bounce and then buy, because if this level here breaks, the next support is 29. So again, if it reaches 29, you monitor, wait for it to bounce a bit. Once it bounces a bit, then enter. When you enter, your price target would be somewhere here, 35, 33, and 36. So you always monitor those levels. Okay, so let's look at BDO's chart here. So horizontal line, we can already see that at this price level around 110.50, right? 110.50, there's a strong support there. See, since 2021, that level has held, no? Even if it went down last June, again in August, it held at that level. So today, BDO had a stock dividend, so the price dramatically went down because the X date was today, no? But it held at 110. It's now holding at 111, no? So we will wait and see if that support holds and then buy more, right? The next support here, again, we can draw a horizontal line, is 102, right? So here, where's the next resistance here? It's around this level. See how many times the price touches that line all throughout the year, right? So it broke resistance here, went to support, and then went back up. So we can draw another horizontal line here because we clearly see the price touching that line for several times this year. We can also draw another horizontal line at this level because we're also seeing several touches of BDO's price action at that level. So now you have a nice horizontal chart for you to look at, no? So it's 110. So is it a good time to buy? Wait for a few days to see if it bounces from that level, because it might break that support level and go back down to 102, right? So wait for price action to have a confirmed bounce and then slowly buy, slowly accumulate BDO, right? So see, that's how easy identifying horizontal lines are, no? So what about trend lines, no? So we use trend lines to identify certain movements. So sometimes the stock doesn't move in a price range. Sometimes it moves in a direction. Either that direction is going up or that direction is going down, right? So for example, here for Jollibee, the price was clearly moving up in a certain direction. So you can see it touching this, touch here. Now when it broke down this trend line support, we call this a trend line support. When it broke the trend line support, that became a resistance, right? So it's now resistance, more or less. It's acting as resistance, no? So but we are getting another rally here, so we can draw another trend line here. So is it based on this trend line, is it time to buy or sell Jollibee, right? So we can add the trend line with horizontal lines so we can identify additional levels of support. So there's a support level here and here and here, right? So you can see how Jollibee's price action is moving from one level to another, and we've identified the trend line support, right? So there's a resistance here, but there's another resistance here, there's another resistance here. Is this a false breakout? Could be, or it could be just it hit resistance at 260. So is it testing support here and going to the upside in the coming weeks? We don't know, right? But at least now we have a more informed way to look at price action of Jollibee, right? So if you look at Semirara, right, it has been moving in an upward manner, so the trend line is going upwards, no? So you can, whenever a stock is moving upwards, you always draw a trend line at the bottom, no? If the stock is moving downwards, right, you always draw a trend line above it, no? So here, right, see, always draw when it's going down, because the price is being pushed from top to bottom, so you draw a downward moving trend line at the top, and this one, because the price is being pushed higher, you draw a trend line going up at the bottom part of your chart, no? So SCC, you can draw that, you can more or less see that it's following this trend, right? So same with DMC, right? DMCI, it's following this trend, right? So you have a trend line here, you see this trend line is following an upwards movement of DMCI. It broke that trend line, but again it settled back right in that support level. So is DMCI a buy or a sell, no? It's proven to hold its support here, so maybe it's a good time to enter. You can draw a price channel here, you can draw another horizontal line here, you can draw another trend line here, just to identify a price channel here. So now you don't have a horizontal price channel, but you have an upwards moving horizontal channel. So every time price touches this upper band, you can top slice a bit just to take off some profits, just to, you know, lock in some profits, and every time it touches support, you can buy more. And is there reason to believe that this is going up again? Yes, because it has been acting that way for the most part of 2 years. So like they say, the trend is your friend until it bends. So unless there's evidence of the price moving in the opposite direction, like moving downwards from here and then moving up and then moving down, unless there's evidence of that happening, we have every reason to believe that the price will just continue to follow this pattern, right? So I hope you found this episode useful. Go to your favorite charting tool, look at some charts, try to identify horizontal levels, try to draw some trend lines, and then try to make sense if you have been trading along those with that kind of information, no? So I hope it helps you with your future trades. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again in our next Stock 101 episode.